Hi everyone. This week we read Parashat Shemini, which is famous for dealing with the laws of kashrut, which foods should be avoided to eat and which foods are encouraged to eat if we want to keep the laws of kosher. A lot of people ask, does God really care about what's on my plate? Doesn't God care more about larger global issues or what's in my heart? So I think the way this should be looked at is that, first of all, it's a diet. And like many other diets, we want to avoid eating harmful ingredients from cholesterol to pesticides. And over here, the ingredients of the non-kosher foods, our sages explain, block our soul and our self from being present to the godliness around us. There's a certain blockage that happens when we partake in non-kosher foods. And on top of that, there's also the element of self-discipline. Now, self-discipline is not just about being restrictive. It's also about creating this character within ourselves that when we are looking at food to eat, we have to think for 1 second, who is the one who really is causing me to want to eat? I know that I have needs to eat. I get hungry, but I didn't create that for myself. God created that. God wanted me to have to need food, and therefore He also created the foods around me that would nourish me in all these different ways, delicious foods and textures. And when I think about eating kosher, I have to take a few moments to think about, does God want me to partake in this food? And then I appreciate more, especially when I make a blessing. And then my eating becomes a spiritual type of work. There's also an element of Jewish pride over here. In this week's portion it says, you should be eating this because you should remember that I have elevated you from every other nation. We have a special spiritual mission. And eating kosher, having that standard of I don't just bring into my mouth whatever there is. I have a certain standard in what I allow into my holy body, reminds us of our unique spiritual mission. I know this about my girls and especially my older daughter, who always is careful, even when she's at another birthday party or somewhere else, to make sure that what she's eating is kosher, and she's excited about it. She does not upset that she can't have the kosher food. She is the one who's coming to me and asking me if it's kosher. It's deeply ingrained into her mind that she has to live up to this standard of partaking in kosher food. And if it's done the right way, if we educate our kids in the right way, they actually feel a sense of pride that, wow, it's like a prince or someone who grows up in the palace. He can't partake in certain behaviors because he is part of the royal family. And that is a sense of pride that it gives us. So many benefits, whether it's spiritual awareness of God around us, or this Jewish pride, or the self-discipline that comes from making a choice whether I'm going to eat at this restaurant or that restaurant. It's not based off, is the chocolate mousse better at this restaurant or not, but actually a moral reason and a godly reason. It pays off. This self-sacrifice definitely pays off. Wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom.